is the needed command that we should do. Next-hop self under the address family IPv4 unicast under the neighbor command. Okay, finally we should configure neighborship between NXOS3 and NXOS4. Here I'm going to configure the next neighbor command. The neighbor is 10344 and the remote AS of this neighbor is 65002, and finally we should enable address family IPv4 unicast. That's it. Also, we need to configure the switch 4. Here in switch 4, router BGP 65002, router ID is quad 4, okay, and the neighbor is the 10343, and first we should enable address family IPv4 unicast. Then the neighbor is the, for example, neighbor 10343. After that, after configuring the neighbor, you should configure the remote AS. Remote AS is 65001. And finally, address family IPv4 unicast should enable for this neighbor. Now, we should have neighborship between these two routers. Do show BGP IPv4 unicast summary. As you can see, we have neighborship, and also we receive one pass from the switch 3. Do show BGP IPv4 unicast shows us that we receive the quad 1/32. This is an eBGP pass with the next hop of 10343. This is the first advertisement. Now switch 4 learn the quad 1. Also switch 4 should advertise its loopback to other routers. Because of that, in the address family IPv4 unicast, in the, for example, switch 4, I inject the quad 4. Network quad 4 with the mask of quad 3 now is injected into the BGP table of switch 4. Let me to show you. Do show BGP IPv4 unicast. As you can see, the quad 4/32, it's a local route, now is injected into the BGP table of the switch 4. After that, switch 4 should advertise it to switch 3. Let me to check. In switch 3, do show BGP IPv4 unicast. Show us that here we receive quad 4/32 with the next hop of router 4. And then switch 3 should advertise this to the switch 2. Do show BGP IPv4 unicast. As you can see, quad 4/32 is received on the switch 2, but again we have a problem. The problem is that next hop doesn't change when advertising the quad 4/32 to the NXOS2. You should change the next hop in the edge switch. And in NXOS3, you can use for this neighbor, for the neighbor, for example, 10232 in the address family IPv4 unicast, address family IPv4 unicast, you should do the next hop self. That's it. And then in NXOS2, if you check, you can find another next hop. The next hop is the IP address of the switch 3. After that, switch 2 should advertise this next hop to the switch 1. Let me check. Do show BGP IPv4 unicast. Here you can see that we receive quad 4/32 with the next hop of the switch 2. Now we can send traffic from the switch 1 to the switch 4 between their loopback IP addresses. In switch 1, please ping quad 4 with the, for example, source of the quad 1. With the source of quad 1, okay, we have connectivity. And also if you want, you can check the routing table in the switch 1. In switch 1 we have quad 4/32, okay, with the next hop of 10122. This route is received with the BGP, okay, BGP 65000, and also the administrative distance of the pass is 20, and this is an external eBGP neighborship. Okay, as you saw, the configuration of next hop self is so similar to the configuration of the next hop self in iOS, because in iOS we are using neighbor IP next hop self, okay. But here, because of the hierarchy configuration of the BGP for a neighbor, we need only use the next hop self under the neighbor IP address.